And I think that in motherhood, oftentimes we can fall into fear, but there is this like supernatural love inside of us that moves us to make the sacrifices that we need to make. And I think that a mother is somebody who does what love requires of them to do.
Welcome to the Everyday Faith Podcast, where we believe you can live out your faith every day by starting with belief, embracing your mission, committing to obedience, and pursuing community. I'm Dan.
And I'm Jess. We are so excited for a special podcast today because we're starting a short series here during the month of May. Did you know that, Dan?
I did.
Mother's Day.
I was a part of those conversations too.
Is in a few weeks. With each of our guests this month, we will be bringing a biblical lens on parenting, specifically motherhood, together with some really great real life application. And we're kicking it off today with one of my favorite people, a mentor of mine, Tori Benham. She and her husband, Jason, have 4 beautiful kids, the friendliest dog, Rocky,
Rocky's amazing.
and a wealth of knowledge and experience in business, marriage, parenting, and a lot more than that, really.
Sourdough bread.
True story. Tori is certified in emotional intelligence and the Enneagram. She and Jason host the Beauty in Battle podcast. They've also written a book by the same title and recently released Unshakeable, a book about overcoming anxiety. So, Tori, welcome to the podcast. We're so glad you're here.
Well, I'm so glad to be here. I love you guys so much, and it's such an honor to be here with you guys.
You guys have been really busy lately, just with a lot of life happening. Give us a quick update.
Yes, we just added on to our home. So for the last 3 months, I haven't had a kitchen. I haven't been making sourdough, Dan.
Oh.
Or those delicious cookies.
Yes, Ranger cookies, our favorite cookies. I just made up my first batch this weekend because we just got our oven in and we're back. I told the kids, I'm back in business, guys. We're going to eat again. But that's taken a lot of our time for the last few months. And I've got, like you mentioned, 4 kids. One is married and lives on the same street as us, which has been so fun. It's their first year of marriage, and it's just been such a joy to watch them. And then our daughter, our second born, she just got engaged. And so we're planning a wedding, a November wedding.
Wow.
So that's taking some time, and that's super fun. We just picked out her dress and all the things you kind of dream about when your kids are little, and it's like, it's happening. It's so fun.
I do not dream about that, but
It's
Weird.
I dreamed about the day that my girls would become my best friends. And so we're there, and it's just so fun.
That's
and
amazing.
Then our son, our third, he's in college. He was just home for the weekend. He's got 1 more week of school. And we're like redefining some rules, right? We have a college student, so he's been gone all year, and now he's back. And we're like, okay, you're kind of like an adult now, so we got to reestablish some things here, yeah. And then our youngest is Lundy, and she's getting her license next month, and so we have just getting all those hours in, right? Like all the hours in, so that she can drive. And, with the baby, we're like, we already have a car for her. She is, we are not going to be Uber drivers for a week longer than we have to be.
I love Nate Bargatze's joke where, the firstborn parents are poor and don't know anything. And by the last child, the baby of the family, they're trillionaires.
Exactly.
And get the car and get everything up.
That's
so true.
That's exactly what the older kids would say. They're like, how is she getting a car? I'm like, I don't know.
That's funny.
It's more of a gift to us, I think, than it is to her at this point.
Yes.
Tori, I am curious, since we're talking about motherhood I feel like I can jump in with this question. Yeah. Tell me about redefining some of those boundaries with your kids as they become adults, and like they're not little anymore. You're not necessarily in charge of your every move the way you once were.
Well, and there's the saying, once a mother, always a mother. But sometimes that's taken a little too far. So.
It's so true. It's like this pivot of going from one stage of parenting to the next. And sometimes it's like you don't even really know where are we and what stage of parenting are we in? You kind of have to pause. I think that's where we are right now. So Jason and I always talk about somebody had taught us early on that there are 4 stages of parenting. Mm-hmm. And the first stage is babysitter. And that's when you're basically 0 to 3, you're just you're just keeping these babies alive and nurtured and well. And you're not really training them yet. You're just making sure that their needs are met. And then it moves on to referee. And that's the hardest stage of parenting, where you are blowing the whistle, right? Like, no, we don't do that. That's not acceptable. And it's not the most fun. At some parts of that are really tough, because who wants to be a referee for that long, right? Especially with your kids. And then you move on to coach, and that one, they're a little bit older at this point, kind of preteen to teens, and you're now their coach, and which is kind of exciting, because you're on the same team, and you can show them, like, you're not blowing the whistle quite as much, because you're now just like trying to transition into coaching, and then you want to get to the point where you're no longer coach and you're teammate. And that's kind of like where we are. We're still coach with Lundy, our youngest, and still a little bit coaching with Jake. He's, home in the summers, but he's 20 now. He's moving into adulthood. And so the goal is to get to teammate, to where what the coach wants, what is acceptable and what isn't. And hopefully you have enough of a relationship with the child for them to not want you to be a coach anymore. They want you to be teammate. They want to be on the same team, and to know, I know what you want. And, they don't always do it. Like, we're all, make mistakes, and that's okay. But if, I think the main goal is to have enough of a relationship with the kids to where they're ready for that next season too, that they know that like, love covers a multitude of sin. That's probably my favorite quote in parenting, right? We make so many mistakes. We're constantly having to apologize to our kids for our own shortcomings. We're human.
You do that too?
Yeah. It's like we're constantly falling short, but how much that we love you, and they know that we're in their corner, that we want to be on their team, and that we're coaching them and getting them to a place where we can be teammates. And we're there with our two oldest, and I'm telling you guys, it is such a beautiful season. I love it. I love this season of, right now for our oldest, we're not coaching unless they ask for advice. If they want advice and they come to us for advice, then we will give them what they're asking for. But they, at this point, they have to ask to get our advice, which is it's amazing. I love this season. And then for our other kids who we're still coaching, it's still a beautiful thing. They still know that they know that we're in their corner, and we're constantly building relationship with them so that they understand that, and they know that we're doing this out of love.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. I'm very well acquainted with the babysitter.
Yeah. And the referee now. And just thinking 18 years will be there, Jess. Exciting.
Good thing they're so cute, though. I'm telling you, God made them so cute so that you can endure those tough little seasons.
Yeah.
That is very true.
I feel like and Tori, so you and I talked about this a lot. You really helped me when we did marriage mentoring, which was so much fun.
So fun.
And a lot of conversations were about, like, what are you focusing on? Yes. When you focus on what's hard, guess what happens? It's going to feel harder.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
And when you focus on what's good or what's special about those moments and those seasons, it's so much better. And you can have a heart of gratitude, which changes everything. And I know with our little ones, it's like, I just have to pause and look at them and remember, like, I'm not going to be able to pick you up forever.
Yes.
I'm not going to be able to snuggle you. Like, when you feel like kiddo, I can't just sit here and snuggle you all day. Like, I have other things to do. Yes. And it can even get kind of frustrating, because I'm like, please let me stand up and walk to the kitchen for just a minute.
Yes.
And, but then I remember, like, this isn't every day. This isn't going to last. This is all going to be, I'm going to be begging for snuggles or a hug in just a few years, I'm sure.
It's so true. Yes. I remember those years of just feeling like they need you so much. And it's like a constant, watch me, right? Like they're so
Mom.
needy. And it's the human nature. It's the, like
Yeah.
we want our mom and dad to see us and to love us. And you want to, it's a beautiful,
Yeah.
beautiful thing, but it's exhausting too for the mom, right? Because
Yeah.
there's not a lot of break there. It's just kind of go, go, go. But you're so right. That season, like once they hit kind of like the middle school, junior high years, they start to pull away and they don't want you to be a part of everything. And you don't get to say, hey, we're having movie night tonight. And everybody's so
Yeah.
excited. You're that season of like, hey, movie night. Like we have home
Yeah.
videos and we watch them and the kids are like so excited. And then just a couple years later, we're like movie night. They're like, do we have to do movie night? Yeah. So
Can
it
we
is
just go to the neighbors?
yes. So it is so important to take in the season, to take in the moment
Yeah.
if you can. And I remember the Lord, and I shared this with you before, Jess, in our time together, but I remember the Lord really showing me through Genesis 1, just the power of seeing and expressing gratitude for the things in your life and the good things that are happening. And when you look at creation and you just read, I challenge all moms to just go read Genesis 1 and watch the way that God creates. He says, and then he goes through the process, and every time he said, and he saw that it was good. And he created the sun and the moon. He saw that it was good. He separated this and he saw that it was good. He paused in as he's going through creation, he pauses and he says, and he saw that it was good. And that was just like this aha moment for me in parenting and in motherhood, because I, for so many years, did not pause and say that was good.
Yeah.
And I feel like if I could have gone back, I wish that if I could have seen that really early on in motherhood, I think, and really made that a priority to follow God's, his creation plan, how he did it. Like we're supposed to model our lives after how God does things. And from the very jump, from the very beginning, he shows us one of the most powerful ways that you can live your life, to pause and to see the good in every season and every moment. When you are putting your kids to get bed and they're like, can you just lay with me a little bit longer? And you're like, no, I'm done. I am touched out. I need space. Right. But it's like, oh, this is good. They love me. I love them. Like there's just so much beauty in this attachment I have with this child. And this is so good. This is so healthy that, that they want me. Like that's that means that they're attached to you. Like that's really a good thing. And I just, to pause and to see the good, because I think that moms more than anyone live with a lot of shame and guilt on what they're doing wrong. And they're doing so many things right. And they don't stop and pause.
That's a really good point.
To see what they're doing right. They're just very hyper focused on all the ways they failed, all the ways that they could have done better.
Yeah.
But when you look back at your day, did you get up and you made your kids breakfast this morning? That's really good. Did you, you pack their lunch for them? That's really good. That's a good mom to pack a lunch, a healthy lunch. You gave some thought to that. That's really good, right? You picked them up from school and you showed them excitement on your face. Like, I'm so excited to see you. That's so good. Like they need that. That makes them feel connected and loved. Like all the things that you do without even thinking about it. And then you go home and lay in bed and think about all the things that you did wrong, right? And think that it's important to recognize the things that you did good, because that's the way that's how we get momentum. That's how we don't get overwhelmed and get just crushed by the weight of the world, is when we pause and say, you know what? God was with me and there were some things that we did right. And I'm going to build on for tomorrow. His mercies are new every morning.
Yeah. There's so much for us to talk about. I know in part 2, that might be one of the things we talk about, is the power of testimony. But here it's making me think about there's a lot of weight on our shoulders, and that's okay. Guess what? God, when we make mistakes, like God didn't choose us because he thought we were perfect and we're letting him down.
Yes.
Like, he actually chose us knowing that we'd make mistakes.
Yes.
And he doesn't love us any less because of that. And sometimes I get into this performance mindset where I'm like, like I just failed at all these things today. And it's like, God actually isn't like tallying up how many mistakes you made versus how many good things you did, and deciding at the end of the day whether you are on the naughty or nice list. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
yeah, exactly.
That's actually not how God's mind works.
When else have you been about 16% done on a project and paused and said, this is good?
Right.
Like you're seeing, last time you were about 16% done on a project.
Yeah.
Were you ever like, you know what? I made it 2 steps. This is good. So that concept is really brilliant.
Yes.
And it's been very helpful for us.
Yes.
And this kind of where, you know, your latest book, Unshakeable, talking about anxiety. And you know, the one thing I'd love to talk about is, what is a good mom? Because I will never forget when a mother said, I'm not a good mom. And my first thought was, well, what is one? And I started asking moms, and no one knows what a good mom is, right?
Yes.
Or they get super intense and like, well, I have to, you know, work out, eat right, and do all these things. Like, well, first off, that's not what the kid really cares about, right? So you're like,
exactly.
So tell us what is a good mom?
I think a good mom is a woman who is led by love. I think that I think that innately God put the love of a mother is the most beautiful thing. Like, I look at my own mother and think about just the sacrifice that she had made for us kids and continues to make to this day. And the motivation that she has to do the things that she needs to do. It's all motivate. Like, when I see my mom doing really well and just see, like, when I think about my mom and how the impact she has on all of us kids, there's 4 of us, and she is like Superwoman, in my opinion. She's Superwoman. But when I think about, like, sometimes I even wonder, I'm like, how does she do it all? Like, I look at my mom and I think, how does she do it all? And she's just so motivated by love. Like, it's just an abundance of love that she's capable and able to do what she does. And I think that when I was learning and getting my certification in emotional intelligence, I learned a lot about how much we operate out of fear and how there's really 2, when you look at emotions, all emotions come out of 2 primary emotions, love and fear. Wow. And so when I think that when we fall short, typically we have fallen into fear, right? We've fallen into that emotion of fear to where that's leading us. And, you know, just doing this book on anxiety, we learned you got to define, what is anxiety? Anxiety is projected powerlessness. It's a fear. It's a fear of not being able to do or not being capable of doing what you need to do. It's this projected powerlessness. And I think that in motherhood, oftentimes we can fall into fear, but there is this like supernatural love inside of us that moves us to make the sacrifices that we need to make. And I think that a mother is somebody who does what love requires of them to do. It's what does love require of me to do, and moving towards that fearlessly. And I think that's so natural. You know, I think for me, early on in motherhood, I became very aware of there was a lot of fear. There was a lot of fear that showed up. And the Lord had to really get to the bottom of some of those fears and really root them out. And I recognized that when I was able to operate out of love, I was energized. I was motivated. I could do it. Like, I was capable when I was operating out of love. And Caroline Leaf, she's a neuroscientist. She said, you know, they study the brain and they watch what happens to your brain when you're in fear mode. and everything is chaos. Everything is chaos. Your cells begin to break down. Everything just is not optimal. You are not able to think straight. You're not able to perform. Like everything is just kind of in chaos. And then when they see you shifting into the love mode where you're operating, where they see like a mother just operating naturally out of love, everything comes to calm, and everything starts operating at optimal level. And so understanding that and knowing that, it's like, I can't tell you how many times where I just have to pause. I'm like, what does love require of me? What does love require of me? And what is fear trying to say to me that's getting me riled up, that's getting me incapable of doing what I need to do right now? Because I'm, like my body is like, oh no, I don't know if I can do this. I feel overwhelmed, right? That fear makes me incapable of doing what I need to do. But when I really pause and I'm like, God, what does love require of me? And we love because he first loved us. And so being a believer and someone who believes in the power of the gospel, we have the tools that we need to operate out of love. And so I think, to answer your question, I think that a mother is just somebody who operates in love, and she's not perfect. She makes mistakes, but what love says is when you make a mistake, you go to the Lord in repentance, right? Repentance is to change your mind about what direction you were going. I'm not gonna be overcome by fear. I'm gonna change my mind. I'm gonna operate in love. And you go to your kids and you say, you know what? I was tired and I was impatient, and I'm so sorry. I love you, and I never want you to have to endure, what you endured by seeing mommy operating in that way, because I love you and I want what's best for you, and I made a mistake, and you change directions, right? You change directions. I think your kids, that humility, leading with humility is huge, because it's one of the most relational, like if you want a relationship with your kids, lead with humility, right? If you want to be somebody that they can come to and trust and feel safe with, then you have to lead with humility. And that means you say, I'm sorry a lot. right? I'm human, like you're. I get overtired just like you. I get grumpy at certain times just like you. And
especially when you can't have Ranger cookies.
Exactly.
That's such what a great way to model for them. I know we have 4 kids, and the first 3 are girls.
Yeah.
And so they're growing up. I want them to want to have families when they get older, because they've had great experiences with their own families.
It's going to be no issue.
Yeah.
They already want families.
It's like, if I can model to them that it's okay for you to make mistakes, whether you're 3 years old or 33 years old. I'm 34. Don't even worry about it, Dan. I got you.
It sounded cooler the first way.
Yeah. No, I mean, such a good example of that, of like, look, I wasn't perfect, and God doesn't actually need me to be perfect. He doesn't need you to be perfect.
He didn't create us to be perfect.
Yeah.
Right.
Isn't that crazy concept?
It's more about operating out of love and the love that he put in us.
Yeah. Humility to learn from when we're not perfect. And that's great.
Exactly. And I think that it's so important as parents to keep in mind, like, your kids are watching everything that you do. So if, like, Jason and I are like, be the kind of people you want your kids to be. Wow, that will keep you accountable, right? Like, if you think about, like, how am I responding to this? How would I want my kids to respond to that? That can whip you into shape real quick, right? Because it's like they're watching everything that you do, and you're giving them permission with your actions on how to behave. And so it's so important for us to show that humility, to be like, I totally messed up there. And that was not good behavior. Like, that was because that's when they look up to us. Like we're the model, like we're the perfect people. I remember doing that with my own parents, thinking like they were just like so perfect. Like they were the model of what I was supposed to be, right?
Sure.
And that's just how we look up to our parents that way. And so, yeah, such a good point.
That's amazing.
You looked like you had something cooking. Were you thinking about?
Well, there's so much to
I
talk
know.
about. This
What way
is
to
like so
go.
good. I feel like they're like, do we want to wrap this and have a second part?
We kind of have to.
I feel like we have to because I have so many questions.
Yeah.
This has been so helpful. So I'd love to close this part with a fun question. If you could give every mother one gift this Mother's Day, not a product, but a truth, what would it be?
Yeah, I think I would go back to what I wish someone had told me. I already mentioned this a few minutes ago, but see the good in everything that you do. Pause and follow the model of Genesis 1. Like the opening of the Bible gives us like such an amazing tidbit of advice for our lives. Like just pause long enough to see the good that you're doing. And at the end of the day, when you're tempted to ruminate on all the ways you could have done better, first process and slow down long enough to say, what were some of the things that were good? And just go through from the beginning of your day and think about how you started out your day with your kids, and just take a moment to say, you know what, that was really good. Because that process is so important to keep you motivated and to be intentional for the next day, because your mind is already aware of the ways that you've fallen short. But when you pause and you do that, you're like, okay, and you actually value those little things. I think that it's so important for moms to find value in those little things, the getting up in the night. So Jess, I know that you're nursing a baby. You are sacrificing your body in the night still. Your baby is not even a year yet. And that is so good. What you're doing for Harvey to give him give him the very best of yourself. Like that's so good. And you should be taking that in and letting that be fuel for the next day.
Yeah.
So just see what is good and say it out loud. That was really good. Thank you, Lord, that I was able to do that. Thank you gave me energy to do a really good thing for my baby.
Well, Tori, thank you so much. This has been so helpful, and we're very excited for part 2.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Thank you for listening to this conversation from the Everyday Faith Podcast. Our goal is to inspire everyday faith conversations. Please join us by rating and reviewing wherever you're listening, and most importantly, by sharing with a friend. For more resources like this, visit our website, askaboutmyfaith.com. God bless you as you live out your faith in your everyday rhythms of life.